Joga o festival, joga bonito, filho on fire, faz o gol. Like this, like this, like this. Joga o festival like this, like this, like. Joga o festival, passa rápido, jogo baixo, joga os loud, faz o gol. Like this, like this. Joga o festival like this, like this, like this. Joga o festival, this, like this, like this. Joga o festival like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, this. Joga o festival, joga bonito, filho on fire, faz o gol. Like this, like this, like this. Joga o festival, this, like this, like this. Joga o festival, passa rápido, dribble baixo, qual goes low, faz o gol. Like this, like. Joga o festival, like this, like this, like. Joga o festival, this, like this, like. Joga o festival. Tá bonito, filho on fire, faz o gol. Like this, like this, like this. Joga o festival like this, like this, like. Joga o festival, passa rápido, jogo baixo, joga os loud, faz o gol. Like this, like this. Joga o festival like this, like this, like this. Joga o festival, this, like this, like this. Joga o festival like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, this. Joga o festival, joga bonito, filho on fire, faz o gol. Like this, like this, like this. Joga o festival, this, like this, like this. Joga o festival, passa rápido, dribble baixo, qual goes low, faz o gol. Like this, like. Joga o festival, like this, like this, like. Joga o festival, this, like this, like. Joga o festival. Joga o festival. Joga bonito, feet on fire, faz o gol like
Every year it's the exact same. It's slow, it's unresponsive, it's laggy. Why do I keep playing this?
Aren't you sick of this? We've been stuck in the simulation too long. We need to wake up. Real football's not scripted. It's fast. Responsive. Unforgiving. Real competition has no barriers, no shortcuts, just dedication. So earn it. Show it. In every move, every win, take control. No excuses, just football. This is goals.
Hello everybody. Welcome to the day. Today is the day. No excuses, just football. Today we're gonna be having the launch of goals, and that is happening in a little less than 2 hours. Guys, I'm super hyped. I hope you are. We're gonna be available on Steam, Epic Store, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and X. You guys know it. You guys gotta download it. You guys gotta play it, and you guys gonna love it. Today, we had a very special occasion, all right? Because today we're gonna have several members of our dev team breaking with us our release notes. 4 years, all right? 4 years of dedication, 4 years of listening to your feedback, 4 years of being there for you, our community. And everything is gonna translate into today's effort and work and what you're gonna see today at launch. We are super excited internally. We know you guys are excited as well. So let's do this. So I just want to break down to you a little bit of what we're gonna have and what we had this week. This week we have started with the Creator Program Tournament. Incredible. Literally in the final best of 3, it was decided in the golden goal by Marceau. So he was the champion in there. Then we had our lovely Nick playing against our devs. And that one was a funny stream. We know you guys enjoyed it. And it was an amazing experience. Honestly, he didn't get many packages for you. Only got 3 basic players. But it's better than nothing. And it was one of his first times playing the game. Compared to our devs that had put hundreds, thousands of hours in it. So props to him for that. Today, we're going to have the release notes breakdown from our dev team. They are going to accompany you through all the systems. We have our core, we have gameplay, we have AI behavior, we have a special guest, but let me just not go into details with that. We have animations as well, we have UX, UI, and we have a surprise for you all exclusively that is gonna happen live stream. Before we continue with this, all right, we have something next week. I'm reading the chat, you guys are funny, so. Next week, we're gonna be having our first community tournament that is gonna have 3 days of participation. You guys can register starting next week, Monday. There will be prizes. We will be hosting it here. Our creators will be participating. You have 2 days of qualifiers. The first is gonna be the 10th and the second is gonna be the 11th. And it's gonna be happening at 18 UTC time. And we're gonna have the finals on Friday at the same time, also hosted here by Talton TV, which is gonna be amazing. As you know, he always does an incredible job. But let's get to the modern business, to the business that matter. And first of all, before I continue to explain what is gonna be in the chat in the game on release, I wanna ask you, How you guys feeling? Like, are you hyped? Are you all as hype as I am? Come on, want to see some W's in the chat? I want you, I want you, I want you to show some hype. W's in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of that. Let's go. I want to see the hype going. Somebody's reminding me that I am now CM Noob. Yeah, guys, as you know, yesterday I lost against Nick and became CM Noob for a week. So if you see some CM Noob in the chat, that's me. I will improve, you know. I will take this to the heart. I will improve, become better. So, I think it is time that I start breaking down for you all the game modes that are going to be available for launch in a little bit more than 1 hour, 45 minutes, exactly. Also, remember, at that same time, we're going to have Twitch drops. If you're doing content, go, enjoy the Twitch drops. And if you're watching our creators, enjoy those drops, because they are going to be dropping this week, the next one, and even the third one. We're increasing the rewards as the weeks go on. So the first game mode that we're going to be talking about today is a core mode that you guys already know well about it. It's going to be the 1v1 ranked system. It's our competitive mode classic. You guys can test your skills, your competitive skills, against any other players. You will be matching with similar players based on your skill. As you move up in the ladder, as you move up in the MMR system, you will be facing harder opponents. I think it's pretty special as well because everybody can see who's on the leaderboard. And I will just tell you something. This afternoon, we're going to be announcing a community event around this mode that is basically going to give you very cool rewards that you cannot miss out, because it's not only for using goals, but you guys will get rewards to use in video games. That's all I can say. It's stuff from brands. That's all I can say. But you will see. Right? So stay tuned to the Discord because we're going to have a lot of events dropping there as well. The second game mode that we're going to have available, and it starts from tomorrow 8 a.m. UTC until Monday 8 a.m. UTC, is going to be the 1v1 knockout. And that mode is gated time mode where you guys will have different divisions, and per division a set time of tries to get to escalate. Once you move up in the division, you will make it to a leaderboard, which is, you know, another leaderboard. Your name will be there, marked in the history of goals. It resets every week. It gets you incredible rewards. I'm just letting you know. Like, the top rewards on that mode are bananas, as I would say. And the top rewards are something that you guys cannot miss. So that's our second competitive mode, most important. And the third one that I would include in this category is the 1v1 and solo tournaments mode. Those are time gated sometimes. Those have specific requirements, like, for example, your lineup has like more than a 75 overall, less than an 85, stuff like that. You can play against the AI, or you can play against players. You choose what to play. It's a little bit less competitive than the other two, but if you just want to have your little bracket system experience, that's where you should go to. Next, another online multiplayer mode, and this is very recommended for those that want to hop in the competitive experience since the beginning, but not having the most difficult one. And I would say that you guys should really try the 1v1 quick play mode, sorry. If you guys want to test your skills, if you guys are unsure of what formation not to use or what not, I think this is a great time to test that mode. I don't know, you are making changes, you are playing with a build-up system that is based on a lot of tiki-taka, and you decide to be more direct. This is the way to prove it. You will also be matched with players with your similar skills, so I think this is a pretty cool one as well to test out. And now, okay, for the ones that like to talk, for the ones who like to say, hey bro, I'm better than you, hey bro, you cannot beat me at goals, you know what I mean? So like, hop into 1v1 friendly, invite that player to the lobby and show him what you got, all right? That is another game mode of ours. I think this is also a very special one. If you guys want to, for example, content creators host a tournament, you can invite people, you can host your own bracket system. So it's a pretty cool possibility. And now the important one for newcomers, all right? Because today a lot of people are gonna be hopping in goals. You guys are new. There is a lot of sweats. There is a lot of competitive players. But if you just want to get started, the best mode that you can try is the practice game mode. We have three different little game modes inside of that one. The first one that I will recommend if you're a new player is the practice scenarios, as it will walk you in of the basics of goals. It starts with very basic trials, a shooting, score 3 goals, stuff like that. And it also helps you to build your lineup. You know, it helps you to develop your team, so you start to having some players that are relevant, you feel comfortable with, so you definitely should try the practice scenarios. In that same game mode, you also have the practice arena. And the practice arena is pretty cool because while you wait on matchmaking, that, by the way, guys, I'm just gonna tell you, our matchmaking system is great. Like, if you hit quick play, it's very likely that you find a game in what, less than 5-10 seconds. So like, even if you have those 5-10 seconds, you can hop in the practice arena and be, you know, trying some skill sets and just hop in and, you know, develop those little movements just so you know how to do it. Last but not least, play against the bots. I'm a bot. I'm CM Noob Adri. So like, I know what I'm talking about. There's 3 levels of difficulty out there. So you guys should play against those. By the way, the hardest difficulty on the bots do skill sets already, which I'm not capable of. So you should definitely try that one as well. And that's it. Of course, you're gonna have challenges that you can hop in. They will help you to develop your team. Some are against AI, some are multiplayer. You can customize your kits. There's a lot of options, but I will let you know, explore those. And now, I think it's time that we start to breaking down the patch notes into the more technical aspect, the reasoning behind it, and everything that is important on your end to know about, and the decision making that we take behind goals. That, as you know, a lot has to do with the feedback you provide. Join our Discord, all right? Because like in our Discord, devs are hopping in every single time in there. They answer your questions, and I think it's a pretty unique and cool opportunity. I say this proudly. I've been saying it for 3 days straight, and I will say it again. We have the most responsive devs that you can imagine in the gaming community. They break down the things for you, they listen to you, and we take a lot in consideration the feedback that you give us. I'm gonna shut up. I've been yapping for a while. I'm gonna let one of the pros now talk. That is Torbjorn. Welcome. He's our technical director. Welcome, Torbjorn. We have a few questions for you. And let me know.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
You guys can hear Torbjorn well? A little bit of sound. Yeah, they say they can hear you perfectly. How you doing, Torbjorn? Excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. Game launch is always special. It's been some for me over the years, but it's always exciting to launch a game. Definitely.
It is definitely, and that is the reason why we have you today is because some of the implementations, and by the way, right now the patch notes are available in our website, Steam as well. So if you want to be reading them as we talk through them, I think that will be very beneficial for you. So the first question I have for you, Torbjorn, is how did we manage to reduce the minimal spec so much? Ghost is a game that in terms of size is very small, but it also plays in almost everything, all the way down to a Pentium G2020. So what is unique about Ghost that allows us to do that?
So I would say what we set out in the beginning when we started developing this game is like we wanted to craft a specific version for the performance builds, like the builds that aren't on like super high-end computers. So we actually split the game into 2 versions on Steam, that is. So we have one experience version and one version we call performance version. And then we have a headless launcher, which basically detects what type of hardware you have, and then it selects the right game for you. So if you're on a Pentium G2020, then you're going to get it. So that's sort of the onset on how we can actually do this type of optimizations, because doing that and doing this split enables us to have like an experience version which has all the bells and whistles. We can have DLSS, we can have everything else basically as well. And on the performance version, everything is stripped down basically. So that is a good thing. Another thing on like how we could actually bring this down to work on a sort of low-end machine is that we're using baked lighting, and on the performance version we're also using forward shading or forward rendering. On the experience version we're using deferred, which is sort of the Unreal default. And doing that, you can squeeze out the extra performance of Unreal Engine, which is actually very capable if you tweak it right. And we also implemented our own shadow system, because like if you're using if you don't use dynamic lighting and all of the sort of bells and whistles there, you can actually bring the performance down significantly by sort of doing your own shadows as well. So we have like a fake shadow system, you could call it, which is very bespoke and very specific to our game. And it brings the performance levels so you can actually get this to run on a sort of super low end. And the last piece, but it's kind of important as well, is like we're running on what is the actual mobile path on these type of super low end computers, because like the Pentium is from like 2013, so it's really long time ago. I don't think there's many games at all right now, if any, that actually is launching and supporting this. But we're running on an OpenGL ES 3.9 version on the performance on this type of hardware, and that is up to sort of 4 to 6 milliseconds faster. So we actually got this game running on 40 to 60 FPS on that type of machine. So it's still a competitive gaming experience you're getting.
That's incredible, guys. Come on. Next one. About dynamic stadium, sorry. Like we have seen that the stadium is very capable of mutating. You will let us know more about that. How this will be available for users though, you can explain of course a little bit more of what are the capabilities there, but it's a setting they can toggle. They have some decision about it. Is there a possibility that we might see players able to create their own clubs or maybe use their own logos? You know, a bit of a personalized experience in the stadiums towards the future.
Definitely, and I can talk about sort of what the system is capable of now and what it will be in the future. So right now, sort of the stadium takeover effects are driven by two states. Right now, it's like either you have what we call sort of a nation takeover. So if you have a team with the majority of players from one nation, you're going to be sort of doing a stadium takeover of that nation. So you're going to see flags on the sort of back on the of the goal, like the crowd flags there. You're going to see those in the nation colors. You're also going to have the banners and billboards showcasing the flags of that country basically as well. So that's the nation takeover, which is the majority of players in the game. So you will need, like in a 11 versus 11, you would need 6 players basically from one nation to enable this. The other one is what we call sort of a partner takeover. So if you have a kit from a partner, that partner is going to do a takeover of the crowd flags, the billboards, and everything like that. And I know from a sort of esport perspective, that is also kind of important. And the third thing, which we're also having, is for more of the esport people, like for the esport admin, which is like how you stream and do casting. You can also set this match sponsor. So you can set basically a partner that you're working with as the sort of sponsor of this game. And when we've been speaking to a lot of like the esport clubs, this is something which they have sort of requested. And when they speak to sort of the big games like FC and eFootball, this is not something that I've been able to do. And for us, we've actually built it in from day one. So you have that support.
Like incredible capabilities, yeah.
Yeah, and sort of going back to sort of, we built this technologies like at the foundation, so it will be possible down the line, not right now, but down the line, to have support for like doing personalization here. So your own logos, your own clubs. Obviously, like UGC, which this would be, then comes with a lot of responsibility. So we would need to build sort of a gating technology to make sure we don't get any bad content in there, obviously.
That's crazy. I think especially the last part regarding UGC, people are going to be very excited about it because, you know, it always brings that next level of personalization. It makes you even feel more identified with the game. And if you combine it with that sort of affection that players develop with their own players that end up knowing their names, like I think it kind of completes the package. Have a last one question for you. we mentioned that we re-architected our network's handshakes to drastically reduce random disconnects, right? And knowing, for us, is very important, and you guys know it, how important it is for us to connect players worldwide to play against each other. You even guys saw it in our previous events, including the beta that we did, Nations Cup events. There are no games that are capable to do that at worldwide scale. So back to the network handshakes. How do we manage to get such an optimization, and what have we done in this update?
So as you may or may not know, we have like a proprietary netcode technology that we build, which is the Centec technology. And this enables us to actually go down to the actual sort of network layer, like the UDP packages and all that jazz. So we can control this completely. And that enables us to actually do like robust re-authentication. So if you're switching NAT or sort of IP mid-match, we can actually sort of re-authenticate and resend data to new IP addresses during that game. Like otherwise, what usually happens is that, like if you switch IP mid-match, you're just going to be disconnected. And that's what we saw in some instances when we were doing like the beta. So the beta was like why we actually found many of these things out. And on UDP, since UDP doesn't sort of have a negotiation, just sends the data, we'll just send this on the protocol level. So it will just reroute the traffic into this new port, which is also like a good thing, since we can control actually the UDP traffic and what goes into the UDP package basically. And also we can do client socket resets. Like if the socket is being bound by something else and it's not being doing a response anymore, we can just change that as well on the fly basically. And this together, all these sort of seamless connections under the hood, makes sure that your like network connection or the gameplay connection with the game is very solid. So we will have like ability to be able to play the game, and even if you're on unstable network connections, if the routing is different from like mid-match or something like that, it's gonna work.
Incredible. Not the most dash guy, that's why we bring Torbjorn here to bring us some clarity on that. So really appreciate it. If you want to expand on anything else, it's good. If not, thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, we're gonna move to our next step. That is gonna be Franz Perez. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong, Franz.
No worries.
Alrighty, I got you. Give me 1 second so I set this up properly. It's only gonna take a second. There you go. You guys can see Frallen right now on the screen. Welcome. He's our lead game designer. You probably know him already because he's been in so many guys breaking down the system for you all. We have a few questions for him as well, but first of all, you excited for the game launch?
Very, very. It's been a fun and hectic day so far. It's only gonna get better.
It is for sure, and I'm pretty sure as well that everybody is very happy to have you here, because as I mentioned, you already have breaking down some of the systems and some of the reasoning that are behind on the decisions that we take. The first question that I have for you, and it's actually a question that is divided on two, by the way. We know that like there has been some huge tactical shifts in this patch in terms of gameplay. I think one of the ones that I can recall right now is the 1.5 second speed cap that it triggers. It triggered on runs, and also another one that I think is fundamental in terms of like how it can change the beta is the new height-based agility multiplier. I want to ask you, what is the philosophy behind adjusting that initial burst of speed? And also in the second one, and I can reformulate one just to not make it a big deal, how the height multiplier will affect the lineups and how the meta can be affected because of that. Because we saw a lot of base meta in the previous edition, so how can it affect this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so for the first one, that is where community feedback has been very handy. So for a while there, it was very OP to play those, lofted through balls over the top. And one core issue that caused this was the reaction of players when you triggered a run. So basically, when you triggered a run, they would instantly go up to top speed, and you could more or less play the pass immediately, and that would leave the defense, more or less defenseless in terms of defending that situation. So what we did then was that we introduced kind of a grace period, if you will, where the player will start the triggered run, but they won't go up to max speed immediately, and that gives the defender a possibility to kind of read the situation, see the run coming, and actually defend that properly. As for the other question, the height multiplier on agility, our reasoning there was basically that currently, or in the beta version, there was no downside to using tall players, because obviously they are taller, so they will have a better jumping reach in general compared to shorter players. So what would then be the reason to ever use a short player? And that's kind of where the agility multiplier idea came into play. So the way it works right now is that if you have a super tall player, so the tallest player you can have is 200 centimeters currently, they will have an agility multiplier of 0.9, meaning that the agility stat is reduced by 10%. So that way we're kind of trying to balance the different player types, if you will, in the game to have different benefits, if that makes sense.
I want to point out that, as Franz said, that community feedback, it was a major one on taking this sort of decisions, and like in the beta we received a lot of it, and as you can see, those feedback that you guys provide in our Discord, like we have set a super menu that you guys can scroll, can report anything, and it's very important for us because we are very actively checking that one. As for the second question today, interceptions. We are seeing a lot of balance changes and interceptions, stand tackles, physical duels. I must say that this one is one of the core points of how rewarding goals feels. Nick yesterday mentioned, several influencers have mentioned it, that when you play goals, you feel rewarded for defending well. And it's one of those skills that takes a lot to master. I want to ask you, like, how much more will players need to rely on the actual strength and defensive stats to win the ball back compared to what I mentioned before, the pace meta that was before kind of the standard?
Yeah, exactly. And I think pace is always going to be important in the game. That's inevitable. But we've worked a lot on the dual system now, and those type of shoulder guard situations where the strength stat should be a lot more important before, and the same goes for the balance stat, which comes into effect when you're dribbling on the ball and basically determines how much force you can withstand. So we've really tried to increase the importance of physicality in general in the game. What was the first part of the question? There was something else. Interceptions, yeah. Like you said, that's something that has been in a pretty good state in our game. And as you said, it's super important that you are actually rewarded for good defending. So there we've done some minor tweaks, mainly to stretch interceptions, as we call them, which is basically the max radius a player can reach to get the ball when intercepting. Previously, we had some cases where the ball kind of went very close to the player, but they didn't intercept properly, and now they should do that, especially if they have a higher interception stat. And the other big thing is we have kind of worked on pass targeting in tandem with interceptions. But the important thing for us is that when you have a defender that is properly cutting a passing lane, we should never try to assist the passer to avoid that defender, because that would kind of screw up the skill gap that lies in defending in the game.
And as you mentioned, it is like a main skill gap, and everybody has mentioned it is one of those skills that takes so much to master that it should feel rewarding when you actually do so. Another one, ball trajectories, shooting, passing, crossing especially. Everything has been improved. I understand this is a bit as well to give alternatives on how the meta works, not everything being so like cross pass or lob pass or stuff like that, or build up pass, just to have more alternatives around the game. For the gameplay team, what was the most difficult trajectory to just like get right? Especially as well, you have mentioned the height of the players before and now how it's adjusted. So just to ensure how it feels rewarding for the player, and what is the core intention behind those changes as well?
Yeah. So a lot of work has gone into the trajectories in general. It's for passing, throw-ins, free kicks, even dribbling. So basically all of the trajectories that we use, and some of it is mainly visual, I would say. So for example, for the shooting, if you have something like the curved shot, the ball was obviously curving before, but visually it didn't actually spin in the air. So those are some visual touches that make the game look better. But then some of the trajectories affect the gameplay as well. So for something like crossing, for example, previously the short crosses, they were almost like bullets to the head, and there was no proper time to react for defenders. So those are a little bit more, loopy now, giving the defender a fair chance to defend them. Whereas something like the low crosses, for example, they were pretty slow in the beta, not super usable. So there we have instead increased the speed of the trajectories. And in terms of what was hardest to balance when it comes to trajectory, I think it's the angle penalties, because during the beta, one of the things you could do was basically you could sprint in one direction and you could hit a lofted through pass in the 180 degrees behind you, and it was played perfectly. So that is something we have tried to balance properly, where you are punished to some degree if you're playing passes at bad angles, but at the same time it's a little bit tricky because we don't want to restrict players too much in terms of passing. So that is probably something we're going to iterate even more on in the future.
And it's gonna be with your guys' feedback, so keep dropping in, go on the Discord. Franz reads you as well as the rest of your developing team. So exactly, like I'm telling you, like everything gets read in here. We take very seriously every piece of information. Thanks, Franz. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
And let's enjoy that lunch. So the next one, you know him well. You know him very well. I'm gonna let you know who he is because you know him very well. So let's wait a second until he joins. Guys, how you seeing this? You liking so far? The devs talking to you, giving answers to your questions. By the way, you're gonna have a Q&A very, very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. Let's just see. Wait for a second for Kurt. He's probably having a coffee right now. As you guys know, has been long days for us. Where are the creator codes? We have to give them like the heads up in our Discord to our moderators to actually give you kind of the list or where you can find them. But there's gonna be a lot of activations, guys. I want to remind you at 4 p.m. 2 p.m. UTC, there will be not only the launch of goals but also Twitch drops. So you guys are gonna be able to get those as well. So just check the category, hop onto your favorite creators, support those that are just joining now goals, and be nice. Code address not available for it, unfortunately. The Nick code will be available at 4 p.m. as well. So yeah. Tell me, guys, how you enjoying it? Are you excited? Actually, 1 hour 20 minutes in. That is incredible, eh? Not the best creator. I'm definitely not the best creator. All right. We have Kurt here. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Give me 1 second. Yes, sir. Let me 1 second.
Yeah, all good.
You guys can see Kurt now? Tell me about it. Yes, you can. People been missing you, Kurt.
I know. busy working.
Yeah, I know. How you doing? How you feeling? Are you excited?
Yes, very excited.
Alrighty, we're gonna have Kurt with us. And one of the points we disclosed in the breakdown of the patch notes was everything regarding AI behavior. He will be able to break down everything for you on that end. I have a question, a very good question for you first. The first one is gonna land on the offensive side of things. So offensive AI detection got a full rework. Teammates are now much smarter on finding gaps. I know that's something the community has bringing a lot to the table as well. So yeah, even in Tuesday, as I was mentioning, in the creator program tournament that we had, we saw 2 different play styles, and that is something that Goals brings to the table. So I just wanted to ask you directly about this AI detection. How exactly does this new algorithm change the way that players will naturally build their attack, the beta attack? How does it modify it, the new implementations we have done?
Yeah, I mean, offensive AI is something that is probably going to keep being iterated on the most, I would say. In the build-up phase, so when I say build-up, I'm talking mostly in the first 2/3 of the pitch. You'll have a lot more players coming closer to you to provide support in order to, build up and progress. In the final third, I think, is where we've seen the most changes. The attackers will be a lot more likely to play on the last line of the defense, so they'll be making a lot more runs in behind. So that's something for you to be able to see if you can spot. But it is, of course, worth mentioning that player roles are going to be very important as we keep adding more and more. So if you don't want your striker to get in behind, then you can set a specific player role to allow them to, well, basically not do that and go more closer if needed.
Damn. Right. That was a good one, honestly. And we're going to hop to the other side of the pitch, sorry, and it's now going to be defensive AI. They are now smarter as well, the AI, about conserving stamina, managing tracking distances. So how defensive AI is started, because as we even talked with Franz before, defensive skill is such a skill gap in our game. So like how the defensive IQ, let's call it, start actually change what we see are the AI defenders doing on the pitch, and how we can expect that to modify as well the meta in the defensive end.
Yeah, so with defensive AI, I think it's fair to say those of us, or I guess those that have been playing the game and testing the game for quite some time, will realize there's been quite a lot of back and forth. I think the initial vision was we want to have as little AI or defensive AI influence as possible, but I think we went probably too overboard on that side. So we had to add a little bit more, because ultimately you can only control one player, right? So that's been the hardest thing for us to find some kind of balance for. At the moment, there are a lot more, let's call them player-to-player marking. So they'll be more likely to go with directly marking with the players wherever they go, the attacking players. That can naturally open up a little bit more gaps for the offensive AI to exploit. To answer your question specifically regarding the defensive IQ stat, it basically has, I guess if you put attackers with low defensive IQ at the back, they're going to be a lot less likely to be able to track a run in time. So, yeah, I mean, this should be a given for everyone, but do not put attackers at the back, or, you know, you're going to be potentially left hanging at the back. So, yeah, look out on the defensive IQ stat for defenders.
Alrighty, so that was more in the competitive experience, in the 1v1 player experience. So now a little bit more, because we know there are those of you there that also enjoy a lot playing the solo experience against AI. And I kind of wanted to ask you, this is kind of a two-way question, like how challenging do you think AI will be now for our players? And also, like, will we get an AI that is super, super difficult to beat, that even our top players will struggle to it?
Oh, so you're talking like against bots, literally, right? So against
Correct,
AI
correct.
controlled,
Yeah.
no user. Oh, I'm not sure if if I'm the right guy to ask that question to. Listen, I don't believe there could ever be an AI that could exist out there that could ever defeat me. I may never find out, because when I play these type of games, online games, I prefer playing against human players. You know, the joy I get is to defeat human players. I don't believe, no, that there can ever be an AI out there that could ever defeat, let's say, me. But yeah, I guess it can be an open challenge if needed. Who knows, maybe in years to come. But no, I don't have any desire, personally speaking, to play against AI or beat the toughest, so to speak, AI. But who knows in the future.
Do you think that the current one that we have that is capable of doing the skills will be a challenge for new players though?
Yeah, maybe. Listen, yeah, for sure. I think it depends on the skill level of whoever is playing. But I mean, I've seen some people play football games throughout the years, and yeah, probably. I think they could lose to the to the AI for sure.
Alrighty, that was all on your side. Kurt, I'm gonna tell you something. You got the chat going crazy, brother.
Oh, do I? Sorry, I haven't got it
No,
open.
no.
Thank
It's
you, man.
pretty cool.
Appreciate it.
Everybody's is super hyped. Something you want to say to everyone before we hop into the next?
No,
one?
I mean, you know, this is what we've all been waiting for now. What's building up to. So I'm very excited that we got to the day of launch, and yeah, let's hope everything goes smooth sailing.
Yes, sir. That was Kurt for you all. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. And now we're gonna have a special guest that we talk about. You guys know him very well. You guys cannot see him yet on the screen. I will delay this a few seconds. But I'm just saying that he's always present on Dev Discord. Everybody knows who he is. He's hyper responsive, answers to all your questions, guys. And that is why we have this section here now. Please, everybody, welcome in the chat the one and only, give me 1 second, set it up correctly. BDS Andreas Tortersson is on the stream. Hello, Andreas, how you doing?
Hey, man. Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, excited as is our community, and we have a section prepared for you because we got the rest of the devs answering and breaking down and detailing the release patch notes. But this one is the one that we mentioned on the announcements that is exclusively for you guys to ask questions to Andreas, and Andreas will answer. Of course, everything game related, we will answer to the best of our capabilities, in the sense of like things that are not disclosed, obviously we will not share, but we can, you know, break down for you a little bit the sense of every implementation that we have done. And I know you guys have been talking with BDS in the community Discord as well, so start dropping questions in there. We're going to be reading them and Andreas is going to be answering them.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. The first question that we have, I think I can't even answer that one, but will there be multiple originals on release? And
not on release, but there will be multiple originals going forward. Yes, for sure.
Do you want to break down a little bit more into what's originals for the new people coming to the stream?
Yeah, so I mean, the whole idea of going sort of not fully licensed is that we can do a lot of things that the other games can't. And we truly believe in sort of the unique characters approach. And with that, we can also add other kinds of sort of football-related creators and players into the game. And that's what we call originals. So there's going to be one original now at release. And then we're going to constantly sort of add new ones to the game. And we're extremely excited. It hasn't really been done before. We think it makes a ton of sense in sort of the game design we have. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a pretty big one today. And I don't really have a date on the next one, but maybe, you know, between 3 and 6 months from release, we're going to have the second one. And without sort of revealing too much, I think I can say that that's most likely going to be a football player.
The first sneak peek for everybody out there. So another question that I'm seeing in the chat, it was related also, it happened to pop a lot in yesterday's stream with Nick. Will there be a 2v2 mode? We had the 5v5 during the beta. Will there be a 2v2 mode?
Yes. So we actually have 2v2 and 5v5 already working internally. We can also do 11 versus 11, sort of more traditional pro clubs. So it's more about sort of the timing of that and the focus of the team. We're going to be super busy post-release to sort of listen to feedback, iterate on the product, because I think it's important to understand that this is a live service game. It's a forever game. It's not going to be perfect at release. We're super proud of the product. It's going to be great, but we're going to keep on iterating. So that's going to be the biggest focus sort of post-release. And then we have to decide internally, and I guess also with the community, what sort of format do we add next? Do we do 2v2 or do we do 5v5? We haven't fully committed to that yet, but it's leaning towards 5v5. We'll see. And the reason for us to sort of not doing that at launch, I mean, some people already tested it in the beta, is that we want sort of that to be sort of complete experience. So we can't just put it in there and let people sort of quick play it. It's not going to work. So we want to do it like properly. So for both 2v2 and 5v5, we're going to have ranked on top of sort of the sort of the friendly and the quick plays. We want to sort of make them into sort of dedicated formats, like proper experiences in the game. So that's why it's going to take a little bit post-release. But I think it's also worth, you know, even if you are someone that sort of prefers to play 5v5 and 2v2, I think it's smart already now play 1v1 to sort of get the proper team that you can use for 2v2 and 5v5 in the future.
I think you guys are pretty excited about the answer. I see a split decision in between platforms. Some are very happy for the 5v5, some others saying 2v2. But I think the great news in here is that we will be getting both.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna ask this one. What is the anti-cheat system for goals to protect us against unfair play, and if there will be something in place to protect our players?
Yes, so that's an important question. I know people are used to sort of other games, especially on PC, having a lot of issues with cheaters. I don't want to go sort of too deep into it, but obviously we have anti-cheats. It's not going to be any of those sort of kernel cheats. But I think a big difference in our game is that everything is sort of server authoritative, which means that everything that happens is sort of checked by the server all the time. So it's much, much harder to do sort of a lot of those common cheats that happen in other games. But it's obviously something I'm going to monitor hard. But we believe we can sort of offer much, much better experience on sort of PC, which means that crossplay is going to be more exciting, I think, because it's common to sort of turn off crossplay for the sort of the issue with cheaters, but I think in our game, people can sort of play fully crossplay, which I think is going to be great. So obviously that initially is sort of PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, but in the future, also sort of mobile and other platforms.
And as also Torbjörn mentioned before, just crossplay plus having the capability of play worldwide. I think that's unlimited potential in there. I have one.
Yeah.
And
it's also sort of just quick. It's also cross progression, so you can sort of play, PC at home, and then you can play sort of PlayStation at your office, and you can continue with the same sort of progression, which I think is pretty neat.
Yep, it is. Are there any plans for adding any sort of player trading, transfer market? Like, is that something that is studied?
Yes, that's also a good question. So we actually have a marketplace working already internally, but we haven't fully decided yet. There's a lot of pros and cons adding a marketplace to the game. So the decision right now is sort of, we tried it obviously it works, but we need to decide if marketplace is a good fit for our game. It's hard. I mean, if you ask the community, I think half is going to say that we need a marketplace, and the other half is going to say we don't need a marketplace. So we don't know yet, but technically we can do it, and technically we have already built sort of a prototype of it. But we'll see. We're sort of, we're going to launch the game today. We're going to see how sort of players behave, and how sort of they, how they improve their teams, if they have any struggles, if sort of a marketplace can sort of help them in sort of that regard. So, I mean, the answer to that is we will see.
I'm seeing one, and we cannot reveal much about it. And also Torbjörn spoke a little bit about it, but there will be any kit sponsors, licenses, stadiums, goals style. I think they are going more into what collaborations and things. Without saying any names.
So, I mean, no, I'm not going to say any names, but I mean, partnerships and collaborations is a big part of this game. It's going to be a big part of the content going forward. I think we're going to release something a week from now, and like continuously over sort of the upcoming months. So it's I mean, the shorter answer is that it's going to be a big part of the game. Partnerships are going to happen, and we're going to sort of reveal them during the summer.
I'm gonna tie this one to the we talk about the 2v2 5v5 11 versus 11.
Yes, can also be done. I mean, a lot of us internally are Pro Clubs fans. We think that sort of format is amazing, and I think especially that kind of format with proper netcode is going to be huge. So it's also something we have on the radar, but yes, can't promise anything, but we have the capabilities to build it, and we can sort of support it. But I think most likely we're going to do 5v5 first, then 2v2, and then potentially 11 versus 11 after.
I wanted to ask, it's another one that I have seen a few times already. Goals Plus. What can we say the intention is? We're trying to bring the experience, how deep it will affect. I think we'll also have something to do, especially for creators, also giving more depth in that end.
Yeah, so I mean, Goals Plus is essentially Dota Plus, if people have sort of seen that before. It's basically a way to sort of, for you to get additional deeper data and insights, so you can become a better player. I mean, you probably already sort of noticed, but the engineering team at Goals is, I mean, the whole team is amazing, and we basically have built a pretty sophisticated telemetry system. So we're tracking up to 1,000 events per second in every single game that is being played and storing that data. And with that data, we can do a lot of interesting things. Like we can analyze your kind of the way you play, how you can get better, how you can sort of get better certain, against certain formations, etc., etc. So the plan is to sort of package that into a subscription service. And the plan is to launch that, I think, maybe a month from now. I'm not entirely sure, but we have the system kind of in a prototype state that works pretty well. So that's going to be one sort of interesting thing for people to sort of subscribe to get. But we're still going to have sort of a free portion of it as well, where you can get sort of match history and leaderboards and all those kind of things. But we're pretty heavy on data, so I think that's just going to be a bigger and bigger part of the game. And we're also going to sort of add a lot of data to the actual sort of experience when you play, end of match screen and so forth. We don't have it in there yet, but we have. We have the data available. We just haven't pushed it into the UI yet, but that's coming as well.
We already answered in regards of customizable items, kits, budgets. Any more questions, guys? Come on. This is a lifetime opportunity. You don't see many CEOs open to answer everything that is thrown at them, so. Oh, what is the mentality about the players' aging system? We released a guide, but I think it's a pretty interesting one as well.
Yeah, so basically when a character is getting generated, and I think it's important also to stress that every single character is unique. They basically get generated in real time when you open a pack. So that means it's not a huge database of sort of quote-unquote fake players. They are unique and they get sort of created in real time. Both the stats, the names, the nationality, and sort of the visuals. So that's a super cool thing. And then, sorry, what was the question again? I got sidetracked of the...
It was, let me get it as well, because I'm reading so many that I get lost as well. Give me one second. The player aging system.
Oh, yeah, progression system. Yeah, exactly. So since every player is sort of unique, also at generation, they get an age between 16 and sort of 21. And then they get a potential. And with that potential, you can basically pack a 40 OVR, overall rated player. And if you are super lucky, you can actually sort of progress that player up to 99. So that's also going to be a big part of the game. And that's something you can do when we have sort of this non-licensed, unique approach to sort of characters. So you play the game, you sort of earn XP by playing. And when you sort of at a certain threshold, you can sort of upgrade that player. And when you upgrade that player, you get sort of substats randomly increased based on the position of that card. So it's also an interesting way to sort of improve your team over time without sort of opening more packs. You can actually progress the team that you have. And then the players retire between 34 and 40, and that's going to be sort of random. And when the player has retired, you can't use it anymore. But there's sort of a flip side to that, because you can, even though that's going to be, it's going to be pretty expensive, but you can turn those retired players into legends. And we haven't decided exactly yet how we're going to sort of limit the usage of legends. But if you have a player that you sort of love that retires, you can sort of make sure that sort of converting that into a legend that you can use in sort of certain game modes or sort of a max amount of legends in the current game modes that we have.
And talking about legends, because our community are legends too, they ask if it's a possibility, because we have talked about originals, is there a possibility that they can sort of feature themselves in the game at some point?
Yeah, it's a good question. We've talked a lot about that internally, or not internally, on the external Discord. And technically we can't do it. We have sort of a character editor kind of system that we use for character generation. So it's something we can do, but we haven't put any sort of effort or ideas into that yet. But it's something that could happen in the future. And I think, it makes a lot of sense, especially sort of in 5v5, to have sort of you actually playing yourself. But yes, technically it can be done, but it's a question of sort of focus and time and resources. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Got a question. This one we should address it. Is regarding the packages available economy. How is that we're gonna balance that out? I think it's very interesting that we address that as well. So just to give a brief breakdown of how the balance in between those packages, how to get them, progression is gonna work?
Yeah, that's also a great question. So, I mean, it's important to us that we have sort of a slow power curve and that we don't have sort of a pure sort of pay to win kind of game. Yeah, that's something the team has been working spent a ton of time on recently. And I think the overall vision is that if you are a good player and if you're a player that plays a lot, you should get the best rewards. So if you play the knockout game mode we have and you sort of reach the top 500 and you sort of, if you're one of the best players there, you're going to get amazing rewards that you can't buy in the game. But obviously we need to sort of make money somewhere. So so we have player packs, but they are capped at rarity. So it's going to be pretty basic packs that you can buy. But if you don't have the time to sort of, maybe you can't grind the hours, you're not good enough to sort of reach the top 500, you can still get a pretty decent team from sort of buying in the store. But on top of this, we also have kits that you can sort of purchase. We have celebrations that you can purchase as well. And then obviously we have goals plus at sort of as an additional sort of income stream. So we're not going to sort of go nuts on player packs in the store. We need to sort of be super careful about sort of balance and the power curve and not becoming pay to win.
Yeah, definitely, and it's one that comes back over and again. So thank you really for clarifying that one. Any more? You guys have not been paying attention because some of them we already answered, if not in this section, in the previous one. And by the way, we are 55 minutes officially from the goals launch. So some W's in the chat, and also keep dropping those questions. Any plans on large scale marketing? Well, of course, like that's an obvious yes. So like,
yes, it's gonna happen. You're gonna see it.
Exactly. Draft mode in the future. Oh, actually, that's a cool one.
Yeah, also something we have discussed. Yeah, no decisions taken, but I understand the rationale behind it. If you want to sort of try different kind of players or better players, I think it's also interesting if we do sort of the 2v2 mode and we actually let sort of, when you play with your friend, you can sort of combine the team using your best players. And then you also have this sort of ability to test other cards that you don't have. So yeah, it's also something we have discussed, nothing decided yet, but it is an interesting idea for sure.
This one is in regards of the transfer market that we already talked about before, but like, I guess it's a very specific one, so don't know how much in that we can go into that one, but how would you make lower rated players useful in case of we have a transfer market? Because some other games have used them. For example, you use lower rated players. We have the swap system, right? That provides you to upgrade that player. But in case we have that market, they are mentioning this will make a big portion of buying packs with money pointless. So they are worried about how having a big chunk of player base of basic players could affect that market and what we will do with that. Sorry.
I mean, and that's a good sort of that's the sort of the con of having a marketplace, and that's why we haven't sort of decided yet on how to sort of pursue that. I think there's also the challenge of sort of real money transaction outside of platforms if you go with the marketplace. So there's a lot of pros and cons with having one, and yeah, that's why we haven't decided really.
Gotcha. I have one that I think is pretty interesting, honestly. Did you all talk about the skill moves, and is there going to be more added in future updates? Because we see this a lot in other games that is a massive span. Well, here it is different. So I just want to ask you about that.
I mean, I think it's two answer to that. We don't want any kind of skill move meta in the game. We don't want people to sort of change skill moves over and over because that's not football to us. So I think that's important to sort of say first. But yes, we're definitely going to add more skill moves. The reason why we haven't added more is that we wanted to make sure that the baseline of the ones we have is good enough before we sort of start adding more. And there's still a lot of work that we can do to sort of improve the ones we have currently in the game. So I think step one is basically making them better, and then we can add more. But that's definitely the intention to sort of add a lot more, because it's a fun way to sort of express yourself, and people have different tastes in what kind of skill moves they want to use. So that's definitely common, but we're never going to make it sort of too OP in that sense that we create sort of a skill mode meta because, yeah, like I said, that's not football to us.
You talk about the taste, and we are online first, but we have some questions about like a potential career mode, solo modes that have development in the future. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, we're a smaller studio. We're 75 people. Many other sort of competitors are, 10 times as big. So for us, it's very important to sort of have a focus. And the focus from day one was to sort of, we want to make the best online multiplayer experience. That's why we built our own sort of game engine to sort of support that vision. So that's where we started, and that's where we are committed. But obviously, like in the future, adding sort of, couch op, adding career mode, focusing more on the single player experience is definitely something we can and will do, but we still need to sort of make sure that we have nailed the multiplayer experience first before we move into that, because it's so important to stay focused. Sort of, if we want this to be, the fantastic game that everyone wants it to be.
Prioritize, yeah, important. Esports side of things. They are asking like if we will have some LAN events, some competitive scenes.
Yes.
Is that on the roadmap?
I actually read the esport kind of proposal or the plan like 2 hours ago. It's awesome, but I'm not gonna reveal it because I think we're gonna do it a week from now or something like that. But esports is gonna be a huge part. I mean, a lot of us comes from esports. We think it's important and it's healthy for the game. We think also back to sort of the net code kind of engine question that if you want to have a successful esport, you need a game that can properly support it. You can't have input delay, you can't have sort of inconsistent gameplay because then it's going to become pretty random or come down to sort of people, people that can sort of learn how to play, around the system instead of sort of trying to figure out how to play the game the best possible way. So yeah, esports, very important. We're going to announce the plans a week from now, but it's going to be everything from sort of grassroots tournaments to bigger like masters with LAN finals and proper prize money. So yeah, it's a big one for us, but more details to come in the upcoming weeks.
Check in because you guys have been asking questions that we already answered to. So bring it on. We need more to the table. I saw some regarding customization, but we already went through that.
Yeah, so I think in terms of sort of customization, or do you have a question?
Yeah, I have one. I think it's important we address one because we literally no excuses football first. Only thing I want to know, does it have scripting?
No, absolutely not. There's no script, there's no DDA. Never ever will be. One of the core reasons why the company was started in the first place was the frustration coming from esports and competitive games and then finding, and I'm not gonna, I mean, this is not proven or anything, so, but I mean, it can be felt in a lot of other games that they have DDA. And for some games, it makes perfect sense. Like if you play Super Mario Kart, it's a social, casual game, then it makes sense. But for a competitive title, you can't have it. Like those moments should happen because people are, nervous or they're clutching in sort of the last kind of minutes of the games. And if you have a game that is consistent, then you're going to have those moments naturally. You don't need to fake those in code. So we're never, ever going to have that.
That's a great one. Come on, bring it more to the table. Great reaction to that one, honestly. Oh, well, this one, I guess, is for me. How closely do you intend to work with content creators? We have a creator program. Paid influencers come in. We have a massive marketing campaign, and we have a surprise by the end of the stream that you guys want to pay attention to. So just got to wait a little bit, all right? But yeah, apply to the creator program. You have Twitch drops coming as well in like 47 minutes. So a lot going for creators as well. And we literally have a creator program tournament on Tuesday. So a lot of things coming that way as well. Oh, are there plans to allow players to create unclosed stadium and court? This goes to the UGC.
Sorry, what?
Are there plans to allow players to create their own closed stadium? So customizable UGC, basically, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty complicated to build. We don't have that planned yet. I mean, we all believe that UGC is very important and interesting for the game, but no plans in the near future. I think in terms of sort of stadiums and kits, we're going to produce a lot of more things internally before that. We're already starting sort of right after release. We're going to build a new sort of one versus one stadium that's going to be sort of outdoors and sort of daytime instead of nighttime that we have right now when 1v1. So I think we're going to keep on building our own for the foreseeable future, and then we will see in terms of UGC. But that's gonna come later for sure.
Have one that this is not specifically for goals, but I think is interesting. Do we have any other games in development in mind? What is the future looking like in terms of what we're trying to do with goals, but also what is the intention of the studio as well?
Yes, I mean, all focus is on goals. That's what we're not building any other game at the moment. And I mean, without saying it too much, we have built a sports games engine. And with a sports games engine, you can build other sports games. But that's not something we're doing yet. We haven't decided if we're going to do that, but potentially in the future we could do that. But all focus is on goals and football, and nothing else at the moment. And I mean, I think it's important to stress as well, this is a live service game. It basically starts now. This is not a finished product by any means. I mean, we're even sending a patch tomorrow with improvements a day after release, and we're going to keep on sending improvements on a weekly and sort of monthly basis going forward. So this is 1.0 of goals, and we're going to keep on sort of improving, refining. There's a lot of things we can do with the sort of foundation that we have. So I think that's important, and that's what we're going to focus on in the next upcoming years.
And going from other titles to other platforms, like what are the plans? Because right now we're releasing PS5, Steam, Xbox Series X and S. They have been asking as well if there's going to be another platforms.
Yes, it's going to be mobile. We already have the game running on mobile internally. We haven't set any sort of formal date, but most likely next year. We're looking into sort of, a Switch and Switch 2 as well. I think all the platforms we sort of move into are going to be sort of fully cross-platform. So that's the important part. We want this to be sort of one ecosystem. We don't want sort of fragmentation between sort of platforms. So I think that's sort of a key component. But I think the next one is going to be mobile.
So last questions for Andreas, please, because we are taking a lot of his time. Come on. Any others that you want to ask? Very quickly.
You can always ask on the Discord as well. There's a lot of people there from the team internally that are sort of answering those questions. So that's also perfectly fine.
I think this is more an opinion one, but it comes from El Santo, which is one of our creators as well. What is something that you saw other football games did wrong and you don't want to replicate, or you want to do it better?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's sort of a pretty deep question. I think, like, speaking broadly, I think it's extremely important to have a very strong game design vision and not budge from that vision. I think it's sort of the designers in goals have a very sort of strong opinion how sort of, manual defense should be strong. We don't want strong defensive AI. We want a high skill gap. We don't want too much sort of contextual assistance. I mean, there's a lot of things that we need to sort of stick to and never budge, because if you start budging, then you have a ton of ripple effects, and all of a sudden you sit with a game that is so far away from sort of the original vision. So I think that's probably the most important thing here, that we're going to stick. And I think we need to tell everyone in the team, like, on a daily basis, like, we need to stick to the original vision. And then obviously, I mean, we're going to iterate, we're going to get feedback, we're going to balance, we're going to, fine tune the game all the time. But I think we need to stick to the foundation and never sort of stray away from that. That's extremely important. But I'm very confident in the game design team we have. They know everything about football games and football. So we just need to sort of listen to them and then stick to that plan with sort of iterations and additions and balance changes going forward.
I'm gonna ask you this one because I think it's a cool one to finish. It's divided in several parts. What's Andreas' favorite formation, tactics, and strategy for the game? As a user, I guess, this one.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, I haven't played enough to sort of have the best answer to this, but I'm playing for 1-2-1-2. And if I'm meeting someone that is much better, I switch to sort of 4-2-2. That's the sort of go-to formation I'm using right now. But I think like talking to the sort of AI team, I know that a lot more different formations are going to be more viable shortly when we sort of spend more time on sort of formation AI. But the go-to right now is actually it's balanced, it's 50, it's 4-1-2-1-2. That's the go-to.
That was it, guys. Thank you so much, Andreas, for joining us. We keep you a bit longer than we should probably, so thank you for that.
No worries.
And
thank you, man, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Say goodbye to Andreas, everyone. W Andreas in the chat. And now we're gonna have Wade with us. That is our animation director. Let me 1 second, Wade. Check so if everybody can see you. Not yet. They can now. Hello, Wade. How you doing?
I'm great, buddy. How are you?
All good. Pretty excited, honestly. The chat is hyped as well. We are 40 minutes away for the launch of goals. And we're going to be talking now a little bit more in the deepness of animations. So the first question I have for you, we've completely reanimated the core mechanics like ball traps, elastic code, the spin and go. So I wanted to ask you how much iteration goes into making the skill move looks very fluid, ensuring that the input direction also remains very responsive, and how that transfers to being balanced in game as well. It's kind of a technical one.
Well, it's funny, with any move in this game, because of the pure nature of the game, many games are animation driven. Our game is not. Our game is user driven. And we have to make all of our animations work within that system, or within those systems. We have to match game speeds, which are set by our designers. We have to keep everything uber responsive. That means that all animations have to play nicely with each other, no matter what animation is going to play with the last one. And we've got a ball that is moving around in ways that are gameplay driven. So, we have to fit within the confines of this capsule driven approach, and still get animations that look good within those confines. There are times though, with the skill moves in particular, with the goalkeeper, where the capsule driven gameplay systems don't necessarily work very well. It's not very attractive, and we want to do more, so we have started mixing in root motion animation. This is the classic animation driven scenario. So it switches from capsule driven animation to root motion animation, and our brilliant engineers on the team have managed to make that work seamlessly. So yeah, there's a ton of back and forth, and hand holding between animators and coders, and in an effort to make everything just work as seamlessly as possible.
Gotcha. We talk about skill sets right now, movements, but we're talking about goals itself, which is the build at the place and everything. We have also made a decision reanimating all of our shots and passes. May we know where the decision comes from, what's the intention behind it, how it will impact players?
It's a long story short. When I joined Goals, we had a vision of making something a little more stylized, a little bit more wowing in terms of exaggeration, etc. So we took motion capture data and we went over the top with the animation of it, and it looked good. It got some good responses from streamers, etc. But as time went on, the game evolved, and with that evolution, things got a little more grounded, a little bit more toned down, and these crazy shots and crazy passes that had crazy hang times and big exaggerated follow-throughs and whatever didn't fit anymore. So then we went and we started pulling them back, trying to animate on top of those to bring them back into a more grounded looking thing. But the more we iterated upon those animations, it just got weirder and weirder to look at. Andreas BDS, who's just on, he used the term uncanny valley. It was close, but there was just something not right. So not very long ago, we made the decision to go dial it back and bring it back to the beginning, where we took our original motion capture data and we forced it to work within our gameplay confines and focused on the important parts of it, the anticipation pose, the ball contact pose, the follow through pose, and the recovery from that shot or pass. And the result, it stands for itself. It looks great, it feels great, and it was a big win. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears gone into it, but we managed to get them in there in time for our release.
Wanna ask one about a very specific example, which is this animation where the player dynamically jumps over and rushing keeper, like to avoid kind of losing the ball. It's like a very realistic scenario. I think everybody maybe has in our head Manuel Neuer doing that. So or having that instance in a game. I wanted to ask what inspired to the team to add these reactive animations, and what can we expect in the future of those realistic scenarios that are now integrated in goals as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a goalkeeper myself, and I've been in those situations where I go after the ball, but I also aim for the feet. And it was frustrating for me to, I'm running in on a breakaway and my goalkeeper comes out and slides the ball out from under me, but I just hit his collision and I stopped dead in my tracks. So we went and we added in taking out the guy's feet so he ate turf. And that was great. We loved it. They worked really well. But then there was the situation where, well, I had enough time to get over that goalkeeper. Why would I just continue running into that goalkeeper and eat turf? So it was really important to me and to the team to give another option there, so that the guy can jump over top of the keeper and not be penalized necessarily, visually anyway. So now moving forward, we're back in the day when we needed to get one of everything into the game. We needed to make sure all of our bases were covered, and have every animation accounted for. But then we decided, okay, we need to add flavor to the game. You'll see this in the emotes, when player's pissed off at a call, he starts throwing his hands up in the air. You'll see the keeper doing the same thing, almost like Jordan Pickford, screaming at his teammates. And so we want to continue on with that, and have more collisions in air, for example, and coming out of those collisions and getting messed up. Not saying that this will happen. I just hope that it might happen one day. Or you're in a wall and you get smacked with a cannon of a shot in the face. We want the player to react to that. Get knocked backwards and make it look as gruesome as possible. So we're always looking for those opportunities that you see in a normal football match. To add that flair to the game.
I think it's very important as well. Kind of brings the realistic type, the absurdness, let's call it, of the world, of the live action happening and having that in goals as well. Super important. Last one for you. What is something small in the locomotion or recovery animations that you think players will immediately feel even if they consciously don't notice it, like they don't realize immediately, but is there and like actually makes sense within the game motion.
In our locomotion, when I first joined the team, there was something that bothered me as an animation director, and maybe the average Joe or Josephine wouldn't notice it as much, but you know, like when you're running at full speed and you take a somewhat hard turn, the characters were straight up and down. There was no inertia there. There was no weight to the character. And so what we added into the game was banking. As the character is making a hard turn, the whole body leans over to support that. It's a small thing, but it adds a lot. There are other subtle leans throughout the game that give that character that connectedness to the pitch. And we've added acceleration and deceleration. You know, if I'm just running down the field at a slow jog and I go and I click sprint, I expect my character to explode into that sprint, you know, put all of his body into that effort needed to get up to sprinting speed. And on the flip side, when decelerating, you know, open up his body almost like a proverbial parachute to put on the brakes and come down to speed. Otherwise, it just looks lifeless and dead.
Gotcha. Well, something you want to say to the community? Something, your thoughts, what are your expectations? Are you excited for the launch? We are 30 minutes exactly away from launch.
Well, I can speak for myself. I can speak to the rest of our team at Goals. I mean, we're all over the moon excited about the launch. But, you know, this is just the beginning, you know, like it's a live service game, as everybody's been saying, and it's just going to keep evolving into more and more. And I'm even more excited about that, I think.
Great to know. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for breaking down everything regarding animations for us. And I think we're going to go... Oh, no,
Absolute
go.
Pleasure.
Ours. Thank you very much. We're gonna go now to our next and last, by the way, guest of today. That is gonna be Eric. Give me 1 second, Eric. I'm getting everything in place. And if I'm not mistaken, they can see you now. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm hyped. It's so close now. My goodness.
You can almost touch it with your fingers at this stage.
Yeah, we've been waiting a long time for this day, man. I think we have something really special, and it's so close. Everyone's gonna have it in their hands now. It's amazing.
Exactly. So, first question I have for you, as I just say, is the UIX director, Eric Ortman. The ability to convert maxed out players into permanent legends is huge for the community. We're talking about this progression system, we talk about it. What was the driving idea behind giving players this way to cement their favorite stars? Seem to like the history, legacy, all this build up.
Yeah. Andreas already touched a little bit on the progression system, right? And how it is a really core part of the, like, what makes the meta exciting in Goals. And we think it's going to be a really, really fun journey to go through. Just that idea of like packing a player that might not be ready for your starting lineup right away, but growing as you play and becoming like a core part of your collection and your squad as you go. But that also means, of course, that our players aren't permanently age and they retire over time. So sometimes you'll have that really amazing player, you've gone through tournaments and leagues with them, and you feel like, you know, they mean something to you. So having that ability to convert that player to a legend, something that becomes a permanent member of your club, just makes it a bit more like something you can connect to and a bit more personal, which I think is going to be really, really fun. And from a gameplay point of view, it also makes it so that we can have a really fun kind of end game loop to chase. Whereas, you know, over time, even though you constantly be chasing new players for your club, you'll also be growing sort of your squad of legends on the side. That, you know, we're balancing it so you won't always be running around with a full squad of legends, but in certain modes and certain tournaments, you'll be able to collect and bring that kind of squad of legends along. You can create something really fun and unique with it. Part of that is, of course, making the management around that better as well. We put a lot of work into kind of managing your squad and collection better. getting a flow for like allowing you to upgrade those players and turning them into legends. One thing we added since the beta, which is really nice, is that you can now actually favorite players in your collection. So once you have those players that might, again, maybe isn't ready for your starting lineup right away, you can favorite them and then kind of follow them, upgrade them as you go, and then turn them into a legend when the time is right. It's super nice.
We also know that, you know, our players will master the menus that we have, and you completely streamline the end of the match flow. It allows now players to queue right into the next game and claim challenges without touching the game menu, which I think is pretty important as much as we reduce that friction. So how big of a priority was reducing this friction for us in goals?
Yeah, like responsiveness and reducing friction is core in everything we do. It's really everything to us. It's obviously a huge part of our gameplay. Having responsive gameplay is our game, and that is absolutely true all the way through the menu and the flow of the game as well. We've already for a long time allowed players to kind of click through the menus while they're searching for a match, which is really great and just allows that flow to feel a lot nicer. But we also really want to let you, like when you are on the pitch playing games, that's where you need to be able to put your focus and really get into the zone. We don't want to distract you and kind of have to pull you through a bunch of screens between every match that you have. So now, immediately once you finish up a game, you can just hit that button and queue up to the next one. And while you do that, you can also go in the end of match flow and claim whatever challenges you had and stuff like that. So that when you feel that the time is right, kind of take a step back, you want to get back to the menus and just go through opening a bunch of packs, those rewards are there and waiting for you. And it just makes the flow that much smoother and kind of lets you put your time where you want in the game without the game forcing you through all of these screens and steps all of the time. And this is just the beginning. We have a really solid foundation now, but there's tons more we want to add to this flow as well, especially at the end of the match. Stuff like having deeper stats on how the players performed, watching highlights from the match, just giving you stuff to do that is interesting while you're queuing up immediately for the next game. I think it's going to make a huge difference and feel really, really nice when you play it.
Yeah, and also like the practice scenario, like even when you match made, you can even hop into that, try some skills as well, which is also
right, super nice
to have. Last one on my end, quick chat finally is here. We know there's a lot of opinions raised by this one, but I it's something that might be used even in a wrong way, and we have the option to deactivate that in the settings so everybody knows you are not connected to it. Like but there are other in-game communication options that the team wants to consider in the future, especially consider maybe 2v2, as we mentioned before, 5v5, all these game modes as well. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Totally. We have so many ideas. And if you're not familiar with the quick chat feature we've added, if you've ever played like Rocket League or if you played Russian FC, it's basically a similar system where you can just kind of trigger a number of preset phrases. And it's really nice, either if you want to kind of give a little bit of credit to someone to just score a really nice goal, or, you know, if a little bit more ratty display sort of behaviors on display, you can offer a few choice words to that as well. All in the spirit of sportsmanship, of course. But it just makes it feel like you're playing against another human, and that's really important to us. You know, we don't have any bots in our matchmaking queues. It's all about playing PvP all of the time, right? And all these things that makes you feel like there's another human on the end of the other sort of gamepad makes a difference and makes the game feel more social. And of course, there's more stuff we want to do there as well. Like you mentioned, Audrey, going into 5v5 and 2v2, stuff like voice chat and having more like strategic communication as well will be super important. And we're super keen to hear what the community wants to see here as well. So please let us know, like when you get into the game, like what type of communication tools and social aspects would you like to see? Because it's going to be a huge driving force for us in terms of what we prioritize and what we build next.
That's that on my end. Something you want to share with the community, Eric?
Have fun. Listen, we're 23 minutes away from launch. We're so excited to have you. We're ready. And I'll see you on the pitch. I can't wait.
Alrighty. Thank you very much for joining. And with that, actually,
cheers, Paul.
With that, we have come to an end of our release patch notes, but that doesn't mean that we have come to an end of the stream. We guys gonna be here with you in this final moments until we prepare for the stream. I just want to tell you guys something, and is that we are gonna have a very special surprise coming on 5 minutes before we go live. is gonna be exclusively in this live stream. There is only like 70 minutes till we drop that. So now it's gonna be me answering all your questions. So please let me know if you have anything. I will do the best to answer all I can. Wow, somebody already hit it like that, just like that. You guys already know. All right. It's really like the beta. Gameplay has changed a lot. Yes, it has changed a lot. And please try it. We're 22 minutes away, so I think it's gonna be amazing if you guys give it a try. You guys are gonna enjoy it. A lot of competitive experience. Always when you start a game from the get-go for day one, you get to experience what everybody is. So the fact that everybody's gonna be starting at the same page, there is no head start, that is gonna be amazing as well. We'll be streaming goals. See you on the pitch. Love you to see you, Bossman. That's one of our creator program members. So happy to see you guys supporting the stream as well. Can we get some drops here? You unfortunately won't be able to, because we are gonna be offline as soon as the game launches. We are just in the watch party until we launch goals. Today, last team reset ever. I mean, definitely is gonna be a first start, as we mentioned, for everyone. But we also have the aging system guide in our website that explains you, how our teams are gonna be developed and how that aging system and progression are gonna work. Adri wants to play goals. I definitely want. I want to get that CM noob outside of my name. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of that. That was a terrible experience. Please, when I'm putting again something like that in the rewards for a challenge, make some sense in my head and put me out of that concept, all right? Because that was a horrible idea. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the average age is above 35. I think there is a chance that your player retires. I'm not super sure on the exact number, but I think it's around that. If not, again, check our website. We have the detailed guides out there. Our team works hard to provide you all that information. So that is great as well. Can you get drops by watching other goals streams? Yeah, Twitch drops are available to anyone. And just check on the website. We have a section under the community tile where you can see all the details. We are going to be having already Twitch drops for this weekend, improved Twitch drops to the next week, and even more improved Twitch drops in the third week of this month. So how much the gameplay changed and the performance? Gameplay has significantly changed from the beta, and performance, we literally have told you, breaking down with you guys, that the game basically, I mean, this is a big gap. I was gonna say runs in a potato, but runs in very low-end devices, is enjoyable everywhere. You guys have pinned the platforms that it is available, and now we are in officially 19 minutes away from the launch. The time has come. Oh my. Will there be pack purchases? Yes. In which region will I play if I'm South Asia? Like, we play globally. There is no limitations in terms of region. Like, past in the beta, we have a community event with all the nations playing against each other. We have also one of the game guides that we have dropped in terms of content is in regards of our engine Centec, and it provides us to do stuff like that where you guys can play perfectly fine online. Everything under 150 ms of ping allows you to have real functionality, super responsive input. So it's something you also want to check out. It is in this YouTube channel as well, so check one of the guys. Our team has been breaking down our systems for you, as we have done in this stream. What else? Our in-game real players will be there in the future. Just gonna say, well, Andres already went into this. We have breaking it down a little bit. We have our one-on-one generated player, generation player system, sorry. So basically each player that you have is unique, is your own. This probably brings you back some memories of a lot of the titles, but basically we look as well into this to build a connection also, as Eric mentioned. Like, we want you to feel that your striker is only yours and build that bond with them. Like, you will start calling them the name. Oh, there he goes, scores another goal. So I think that's pretty important. And to answer of your question, We have plans of already bringing certain big names out there in the industry, in this ecosystem as well, the streaming one, and also real football players to join goals. So yeah, that will be a possibility that there are real players implemented as well. Will you consistently give updates to the community and listen? Look, I have been very straight with this in all the streams that we had. Hop into Discord right now, guys. Like, I don't think I have seen a more responsive dev team, and I have not in all my career than the one we have at Goals. They are literally on Discord. You can ask any question. You can even debate. Like, if you are a person that gives well-argumented feedback, we compile it, we read it, and we think it's pretty important as well for us and for our development. So literally join our Discord and give us feedback. We read it constantly. We have a great community. So I can only invite you guys to be there and to see how I'm called Sia Madri the noob. First of my name. You cannot connect Steam to Goals. Check that you have 2 accounts. It is possible that you have one account that is only for Steam, because we have several ways of logging in, and we have another one that is only for your main account, right? So you can merge those accounts actually. So log in with one of those accounts, use that link, and you can merge both of them, so you have everything in one account and everything ready. Everything is cross-platform, yeah. Everything is available for your Goals account. 15 minutes, guys. Are you nervous? I want to see some W's in the chat, some fires. Like, we are just there. 15 minutes after 4 years of development. Here comes Goals, exactly. Game is 4 GB only on Series X and across everything. If I'm not mistaken, it should be what? 3 GB top, something like that. Yeah. Here we go. I know that. I know that motto. Will we have nation themed packs? Let's say we want to build a full team from a specific nation. Not only that, I don't know if this is specific to packs, but I know we're gonna have rewards in that end. Pretty sure challenges and things regarding that end. Sorry that I'm paying attention to several things. I like to see those fires in the chat, but yeah, there will be national theme sort of packages as well, and with community events as well. Transfer fee to fee. Yeah. How you guys doing? The nick code that we shared yesterday, and you probably will see it rolling on our Discord server as well, is gonna be available at the moment of launch. So that means that 40 minutes, maybe 20, give it 20, all right? And it's gonna be available until midnight CEST, Central European Time, on Sunday. Any events for the World Cup? We have, you guys will see it in game, but we have some challenges that are gonna be specific for World Cup, and I can tell you on the community side, we will definitely have events for the World Cup. I think the first one is starting next week, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I'm right. And then on July, we're gonna have a very special event, guys, because like it's it will involve creators, it will involve the community playing all together. We will host it here, so I think you guys will be super excited for that one. The code, please join the Discord. I'm sure everybody will share it there as well. Is Nick? I don't recall it correctly right now. Give me 1 second. Is Nick T Goals, but it will be available. But also, I just want to let you know, the code is this one, and it will be available after launch. But creators will have their own codes as well. So it's important that you guys tune in the categories, check in videos, because several creators will also have codes out there. Any jobs available to work in Goals team remote? Check our careers page, brother. There are openings you can submit in. You know, the bigger the merrier. But now in the PS5 store, is your referring when we are going to be available? We are going to be available literally in 12 minutes. 12 minutes ago. Single digits coming. Can I get the link to the Discord? If nobody can provide you, I can get you that one. Give me 1 second. Invite. Yeah, here we go. There you go. No, that I know. I don't think Inception have one. Career mode plan in the future. Andreas already answered to that, but yeah, it's something that we definitely know that is one of the things. But down the roadmap, as we say, online first, focusing on the competitive scene. We are very focused on that. So that's what right now we're gonna be tackling. Coach Hardin, be at the goals website. Exactly. I'm avoiding some things to read. You guys already know what I'm gonna reveal in 10 minutes. How do you guys do that? Guys, please add an in-game chat so we can chat with whoever we play with. I think it will be fun. Right now, we have the social menu, as Eric talked about, and it can be toggled off, so it's not mandatory for everyone to have, right? So yeah, we're gonna be having that, but there is, as Eric mentioned as well, the intention as we grow also in game modes to include more social features that you can communicate, maybe in the 5v5, things like that. So you can come with that as well. The Discord link is not working. You gotta be lying me. Of course it is working. I cannot try myself. I confirm that it's working, please guys. You know, I will get you guys one ASAP. I've seen some. Can we nickname the players? Not at the moment, but I think Andreas also mentioned something regarding that. You know, there probably will be down the roadmap some capabilities of editing. You see, it's working all good, right? Want to play on keyboard like I'm Do we have codes already before release? No, all codes will be available at launch. Remember, we have Twitch drops literally starting in 10 minutes. 10 minutes to the launch, guys. Single digits incoming. You guys hyped up? Specifications can be found on Steam App Companion, downloadable in our website. Yes, it is available. You can also get some exclusive packs, if I'm not mistaken, from there as well. There is private games, right? Yes, there is 1v1 friendly that you can play against your friends. You can see it right now on the screen. Add the real players, as I mentioned. We have our own IP. So each player that you have is unique and basically only yours. So you can bond with them. But yeah, there will be likely real players, creators, who knows? A lot of things regarding that. I'm hearing that we want to push the piece of content live. I'm gonna make you guys wait a little more, 4 more minutes. I want to see some W's in the chat, by the way, for every team member that has joined the stream today. I think it's very important, and in the way we communicate with you guys, that they tune into the live streams. They break down the patch notes for you. They are open to answering questions. I don't think many communities do that out there. I also want to drop a big W and big thank you to all our moderator team, not only Discord, but also here. Like, guys are amazing. We have an incredible community. So big shout out to all of them. Another special mention I'm going to make is to all those insiders that have been supporting us since the first playtest. Like, you guys have helped us shape the game tremendously. And a special shout out that I have to the little space that covers my little heart is content creators. Guys, go to the website, creator program, apply. We will review it. You can get specific events for you guys. You will get them. That means that you can give specific things to your community. We had a creator program tournament on Tuesday, sorry, Marso won it in Golden Goal. A lot of things coming, a lot of content coming. 3 minutes more and I dropped what I have to drop. So, and that big W's to everyone that joined the stream. Has been a pleasure to host this one for you all. So, releases in 8 minutes. What a great question. What a great minute to ask that. 2v2 as well. 2v2 in the roadmap. We mentioned it. Things that team is looking to implement in the future is out there with 5v5 that you guys have a moment to try it during the beta. Licensing, not an option right now. We love our 1v1 auto-generated players, but who knows? Can everyone play the game today? In 7 minutes. So I think that's pretty cool. If you applied and never hear back, you should receive, by the way, an email to the email that you sent. And even if you get rejected, I recommend you stream goals, trade content, Twitch drops comment, events for content creators. Like, guys, tune in, like, keep applying. If you will grow with us, and that's what we want. So that's what we want. Release it already. Do I press the button? Yeah, actually, I have been lying to you guys the whole time. I have a button right here, and it releases the build. When do Twitch drops go live? In 6 minutes. Maybe give it a little time. You know, it's not in Iran only. It's going to be Twitch as well. So give it 7 minutes. No, I'm not pressing the button. Can I download the game right now? 4 minutes. I think you guys can wait. All right. I'm going to start yapping. Stop yapping. Sorry. Guys, I want to see some fire in the chat. We're going to be dropping exclusively here on a YouTube live stream and on a Twitch live stream. We're gonna be dropping exclusively the gameplay trailer for you all exclusively before than anyone else. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone that has made it possible. Big shout out to the Goals team. Big shout out to our community. Big shout out to everyone that yapped in the chat, asked incredible questions. We will see you guys in 5 minutes in gold servers. Hopefully I can revindicate myself and stop becoming a noob. Has been a pleasure to having you guys. See you in 5 minutes in goals. Thank you very much. Much love in the chat. And I'm leaving you guys with this.
Il faut que tu passes par l'état technique. Oui, c'est magnifique, tu passes. La frappe.
Bro, this game's interceptions, man. It's like my favorite thing ever, man.
Nice! Oh my gosh. Let's try the 89 shooting. Can we ball roll the keeper here? Oh, it's so rewarding to be able to ball roll the keeper again. What a banger of a goal! Oh my!